Mieruko-Chan is a great anime based on a manga. I'm really impressed in so many ways with what the writer did achieve in the story. I don't watch trailers or read synopsis or anything related to the story, and that's how I get the full experience, the way the writer has intended. These stories are not magical. The more you know about them before you watch them, the less you will be impacted. Even if what you are watching is great, it will lose its importance. And also, you might create the wrong opinion on what the story is about, or have the wrong expectations. So that's why I stay away from those things, and it works great for me. Especially it did with Mieruko-Chan. Since it is hard to define what it is, that's why I'm so impressed by the writer. Manga stories are always evolving, and that's one of the reasons why they are superior to any other form of storytelling. The path that the writer of Mieruko-Chan took is very interesting. In theory, it should not work. No matter from which perspective you look at it, it should not work. It should be a dead end, but the writer made it work. And this shows his skills, which is so incredible. Like I said earlier, I don't know anything about these stories before I watch them. And I'm constantly trying to analyze and figure out what the writer is doing. For me, this is like a chess match between me and the writer. And while watching Mieruko-Chan, especially at the beginning, in a couple of scenes, I was thinking that the writer has put himself in a corner. This is a dead end. He will not be able to do anything good out of this scene or that scene. But every time he pulls through, which is amazing. When you are making a story, you need to set up the world that the story takes place, how it will look and feel, etc. Whether it will be dark and heavy, or chill and relaxed, you cannot have them both, since they would negate each other, and the result will be a clown story. Now, there are exceptions, where there are specific reasons why that is required to be. But Mieruko-Chan is not one of those stories. Since the writer did not commit to anything, he did not build on any of those aspects, but just used them as a platform. And that's why I am so impressed with the result. When I saw the supernatural creatures in episode 1, I thought that the moment she will see them or discover the supernatural elements, everything will change in the story. That will be a catalyst for the story to go in a completely new direction. But no, she was seeing them, and her way of dealing with this problem was just ignore it. And this was puzzling. And as a viewer, this is great. I love it when the stories are like that. I was thinking, could it be that at some point she will have a supernatural power, so she will be able to deal with the supernatural elements in the story? Or someone else will show up and fight for her? Or the story will go in a more mysterious route and unravel little by little? Or that there are other worlds, and the story will go full fantasy? But the answer was none of those. Technically speaking, the writer did use all of them in the story, but in a small and unique way that would benefit and complement his story. And he did an incredible job. Now let's look at some of the scenes, how well they are done, the way they are executed, and how they contribute to the story and the viewer's experience. The first thing that you notice about these scenes is how different they are from one another. Some of the scenes are scary, some are funny, mysterious, heartwarming, gross, chill and relaxed, creepy, etc. All those into one story. One of the first scenes in the story is this one, that is a mix between scary and mysterious. It is dark, rainy, and she is alone and exposed. It does not seem there is anything to protect her. How come these creatures exist? What do they want with her? Why do they need confirmation that they are seen to do anything? Is that the only way how they can make contact with the material world? Then you have a complete opposite scene with her teacher and her dead child that is trying to protect her. So not all spirits or ghosts are the same. This adds another layer to the story. But also it makes the dark spirits even more scary, since it seems to be a choice that they made, and they are aware of that. The scenes with her dad are brilliantly done. Now, this is a big spoiler. If you haven't watched this anime, I suggest watching it first, then watch this video. Her dad was a ghost, but it was drawn normally like other humans, so you don't know that he was a ghost. One way to know if stuff like that is done right is to rewatch the story. If you can still watch and enjoy the story, then the writer did his job. Because plot twist for the sake of plot twist is absolutely pointless, and breaks the story and the viewer's experience. Doing that is one of the highest insults that a writer can do to his audience. But when there is setup, build-up and payoff, then it is great. It just adds more to the story. If you rewatch these scenes, you realize that no one is interacting with the dad, but you don't notice it while watching for the first time, and the reason for that is high-level writing that made it look seamless. One of the other things that is so intriguing and well done in this story is that we get to see why some of the spirits are acting like that, and why they are haunting some people. It is not a coincidence, or random, or just because, to make a scary scene just for the sake of it. There is this scene where Miko and her brother are watching TV, and you see this beautiful model, and you hear words like fragrant, sparkling, smooth. And that's true, but that's not what Miko is seeing. That woman is covered with dark spirits. Whether those spirits are people who she did wrong them when they were alive, or because she is famous and beautiful and they desire her, it is not made clear. But nonetheless, it is very interesting to see the different perspectives. It makes you think deeper. There's another scene in the restaurant where Miko was to meet Hana, and there is a guy who is being haunted by this girl. Now, again, it is not made clear whether this girl is a stalker or something like that, or she knew him and wants to be with him even after death. But based on how he did treat Miko, he doesn't seem like a nice guy, and maybe that's why she's a dark spirit. The design is quite impressive, especially her mouth. I wonder from where did the mangaka get the inspiration. Anyway, Miko was able to get out of this situation by saying to the spirit that she likes MMA fighters, and not guys like him. Who knew that MMA would be effective against spirits? This is not the first time that MMA did save Miko. The scene where Miko choked out Yulia was quite hilarious. I did not expect that. Yulia did not know why she should be offended first. The fact that she got choked out, or that Miko did not use her powers, but only physical power, because she sees her as a very weak. Do you know what would be even more impressive? If Miko did choke out spirits. Now that isn't something that you see often. There are so many great scenes in this anime, and it would take hours to cover them all and do them justice. Lastly, I want to talk about the last scene, where those three spirits that did help Miko are after her. There are so many possibilities here, where the story could go. I am very intrigued. I hope they make another season, because this story is great. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.